in a time and place where you can work from anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to.
And they're calling it workationing.
What will they learn along the way?
How will they screw up, and what will the consequences be?
What is with all these horses?
Are we looking at a gang fight on horses right now?
Did Kari and Kelly do anything right?
Something's for sure.
This is the Workationing Podcast.
We did do some things right, I think. Did we? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, all right. Are you ready to do this thing?
I'm not really. So Kelly, are you ready to tell everyone how stupid we are? I feel real dumb right now.
That's what we're here for. I was raised Catholic, so I am ready for the rite of confession.
I was raised Mormon, and we just don't have anything to apologize for ever, from what I understand.
Yes.
All right. So the whole goal of the Workationing podcast and of workationing.com is to show other people how we're living this lifestyle. I think that it's really important. Kelly's looking at me like, how we're barely surviving this lifestyle is what you're saying?
Yeah, let us just show to you
the ins and outs. So ladies, when you are traveling, ladies in particular, but just anyone in general, there are safety issues when you're out on the road, and maybe you feel a little comfortable, a little too comfortable in your hometown.
Yeah, and we talked about this beforehand. We were like, now we are going to be two ladies traveling alone, and so we are going to need to take certain precautions to make sure that we are going to be safe.
Listen, we are going to be very smart about this.
And then we just proceeded to kind of do whatever the hell we wanted.
No, we tried. Here's the thing. I think that the most frustrating part was that we actually really tried, or I certainly really felt like I tried. Clearly, safety is at the top of my mind. I'm not trying to die out here. Are you trying to?
No, we really aren't. That was not. We really, our number one goal of workationing, secret goal number one is don't die.
Don't die. Don't get maimed. Because when we came out here, people were cautioning us against all of the different things. Certainly, we were going to get sold into sex trafficking. I think that we're a little outside that age range.
Yeah, I'm not sure that our wares are quite as attractive as they once were. I mean, I feel like we're still banging, but I mean, listen, I don't know.
I just don't think we're going to get snatched off the streets.
I just don't think we'd get top dollar for anyone is what I'm trying to say.
But safety is really a concern, and that was a concern of us. It was a concern of our families and friends when we came out here. And I think that we really tried our best to go about some things the right way, but I think that we failed in ways that we didn't know that we were failing.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we did right, which is that, first of all, so we did do some things right. We didn't totally screw this up. We did end up picking a place that was safe.
We did.
It was a little random. I think really what honestly happened with us is that we kind of are suffering from decision fatigue.
Which is a real thing.
It really is. So we have been talking about doing this. The problem is that when you decide with your gal pal that you're going to travel the world for a year and you're going to do a different country every month, and you're like, okay, we can go literally anywhere, girl. Where do you want to go? Try finding an Airbnb with no parameters.
None. No, we were like, do you want to go to Europe? I think we want to stay warm. We wanted to stay somewhere warm, but that limited us to what, the Caribbean and South America?
Yeah. So we were looking around, and long story short, what ended up happening is we looked at a million places, and then we were like, God, fuck this. We just want to book something. And so we found something that had a lot of good things going for it.
It looked very nice on the inside.
It looked very nice. It was less than a mile from a beautiful beach.
Yep.
Which ended up being true. It's across the street from a track and an outdoor gym kind of area, which is free and open to the public, which has been actually amazing. We've been using that all the time.
Yes. Oh, we go there all the time. And we love that.
And then it's also only about 1,000 steps, we know because of our Fitbits. It's only about 1,000 steps away from the grocery store, which is important because when you have to carry everything that you buy back, that becomes pretty crucial.
Well, and cabs we were in such a small town that cabs were really not an option.
Yeah, I think we really thought that there would be more cabs here and that Uber would, even if Uber wasn't an option, perhaps there might be a cab situation.
But there were no Ubers.
No Ubers.
Uber does not exist.
No, there's no Uber here.
Lyft. What's Lyft?
Right.
Do you need a Lyft?
Okay.
You need to call the cab.
Right.
Taxi.
Yeah, they're in San Juan right now. They'll be here in 3 hours.
They will. So we were close to a grocery store. That was important. We imported fixers. We talk a lot about fixers on our technical difficulties and travel hacks episode. And fixers are just absolutely critical. Should we talk about what fixers are?
Yeah.
How would you define a fixer, Kelly?
So I would say that a fixer is someone who you have in an area when you're traveling who will fix things for you. And this could be anything from maybe you need someone who speaks the language. So you want this person to speak the language, preferably. You want them to have some kind of connections. You might need something.
They need to have some time.
They need to have time on their hands.
And maybe you can just pay them for that time.
Yes. Open to paying them.
Yes.
Also, they need to have like a certain level of griftiness about them because they need to both be able to spot a grift coming at you and warn you about it. And they also need to be able to leverage any potential grifts in your general area to help the cause.
When you're looking for a fixer, you want to see solid negotiating skills.
Yes, and street smarts. Real
street smarts for days.
You had to have seen some things in your life.
So we are going to actually interview our fixer.
Yes. Who got us, you know what? He got us a line on some iguana meat. He got
us really everything. Things that we didn't know we needed, he got for us.
Right.
Which I appreciated.
Yes.
And we got to go to the Bio Bay.
Yes, we did.
That was, so we're going to talk about our bucket list item because that's another thing that we did right. But getting a fixer was something that we did right. We also overhauled our lifestyles.
We really, really have.
This has been
like probably the healthiest month of my life.
Me too. We've lost some weight.
We have. What? We're looking very sassy.
Can I just say shout out to Fitbit and home cooking?
Yes.
And dippy eggs on everything. You just crack a dippy egg on top of any kind of vegetable and it becomes a meal.
Yeah. Also, shout out to everything being made out of a fried plantain.
For
my very svelte look right now.
When you hate plantains and everything around you is just like, oh, would you like this type of plantain or that type of plantain?
Right. I really like their
option becomes none.
Pinchos.
See pinchos at the beach.
There's just like a skewer of meat.
Listen,
and like I enjoy their coconuts. Muchly.
Playa pinchos. Con coconut.
It turns out you can live on chicken skewers and coconut. It's good.
So we've lost some weight. That's been great. We've accomplished that goal. Yes. We've been eating healthy. It's been wonderful. The location was beautiful, and we're still tallying up that spreadsheet. But Kelly, I believe we stayed within budget.
We did, and it really is beautiful. And the beach that was so close to us. It's Pico de. God damn it. Pico de Bicho. Pico de Piedra. Piedra.
Listen. Hang on. Let me pull open my Instagram real quick.
God damn, we're really bad.
This one.
Gringo moment.
Christ
Anyways, the beach that is right down the street from us, it's quite a street. But when you get there, it is the most beautiful, usually entirely deserted beach ever. And you can just walk right next door and sit next to the waves and get a pina colada and just get your life. So that's been really amazing.
Pico de Piedra.
Why do you just put so... It's like all R or no R for you.
It's Pico de Piedra. Piedra. But I think it's Piedra. Piedra.
Pico de Piedra. We found it's easier to speak Spanish correctly if you say it sternly.
Because listen, it's not Puerto Rico, it's Puerto Rico.
Yes, Puerto Rico.
You gotta say it with stank face, or you can't roll those R's properly. It's a real problem.
White lady problems. We're trying out here. We really are.
We've been called gringa a few times, and I don't think it's.
I don't know that that's
a
positive.
term of endearment.
I don't know that it is.
I don't think so. Okay. We accomplished all five. Here's another. This is the last thing that we did right, and I think it's the most important thing that we did right before we get into Jesus Christ, how we fucked up royally. But we accomplished all 5 rules of workationing.
Yeah.
Our personal goal: lose weight and get healthy. We have done that.
Yeah, we really have.
We have had way more sober days than we'd even had like a glass of wine with dinner.
Yeah. We definitely have.
We've been counting those calories without really actually counting the calories. We're like, if you're just going to have one glass of wine, maybe you don't have any.
Right.
Let's just tap out on that. The professional goal. Launch the Workationing podcast. People, are you listening to this right now?
Boom.
Hashtag checked.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Just get out that chip.
Get that banner out.
G-Dubs needs to come and make an announcement because
man.
that mission has been accomplished. But make progress on the email campaign. We've also done that.
Yes.
That is just a beast of a project.
It
It's
is,
probably going to be, it wouldn't surprise me if it took us 6 months, honestly.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it will. But we do have some of our digital products in production, so things are good. We're moving forward.
The third rule of workationing is that you should pack light. And sister, did we not?
We did such a good job, and I think as light as we packed, we found out we didn't even need everything we brought.
I have not worn one of my blazers, which took up approximately 7% of my overall packing space.
I mean, business casual isn't a big lookout here. I gotta tell you.
Maybe those blazers will get use in other areas, but they certainly did not see the light of day in
Not
Puerto Rico.
Not a lot of khakis in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
We knocked out a bucket list item, Kelly.
We did. So just last night we did, and it was incredible.
We waited until the end, but we had 6 people total on this boat. Let's talk about a price breakdown. When you want to go to the Bio Bay, which, Kelly, how do you describe this Bio Bay?
I don't even know. It was honestly the most magical experience of my life. So we got on this boat that was captained by an ex-marine biologist. I guess he still is a marine biologist.
He's a marine biologist.
He's just like retired.
He was a professor of marine biology.
And
actually.
homeboy's name is legit Ishmael.
Call me Ishmael.
And he looked like kind of like a hunky like Gordon's fisherman.
He did.
And he took us out to the Bio Bay
At La Paragua. La Parguera. La Parguera and Lajas. I can pronounce Lajas.
Bless your heart.
Parguera. Parguera.
We're working on our Spanish.
Constantly a work in progress.
Constantly
In
failing
Lajas.
our way to success.
Listen, there are 7 bio bays in the entire world. 3 of them are in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
And you can only swim in 1, maybe 2 of them.
Yeah, and you kind of still have to get the Ishmael guy who will regale you with stories as he motors you out there on his boat about how climate change is not a thing.
Listen, the Earth goes.
And we're
through
like,
its
so
own-
this means you're gonna let us jump in then?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he was like, and we're like, okay, great, cool story, bro.
The night is dark. It was a great night for it because the moon was basically non-existent. There was just the tiniest little sliver of a moon,
and it was the clearest sky. I've never seen so many stars. So what's crazy, if you are interested in what a bio bay looks like, too fucking bad, because you literally can't take a picture of it. You can Google that shit, and every picture you see is photoshopped or a lie.
just photoshopped to hell and back out there.
And it looks nothing like what it looks like.
No.
So if you look at the pictures online, it looks like the waves are kind of glowing blue a little. You've got a little Lisa Frank action going on, like a subtle Lisa Frank.
Yes.
In a goth phase.
Inaccurate.
Yeah, it's not what it looks like.
Way better.
No, it's so incredible. It's actually, so Kari was the first one to jump in, as she is wont to do. Girlfriend loves to jump off of things. And so Kari jumps in, and it was like her splash lit up. So the thing that makes it, if you don't know, the thing that lights up a bio bay is that there's all these little like multicellular organisms.
Single cellular organisms called plankton.
Yeah, and they
special type of plankton.
And they light up like when they're touched.
Yeah, when they're disturbed. So the wind will disturb them and just like light the bay up with just, it looks like sparkles. It honestly looks like the sky is twinkling in the water. They look like stars, twinkling stars.
Yeah, and then like a big abrupt disturbance, like someone splashing in, it lights up the whole splash. You can see exactly where they went and their splash. You can put on goggles and like swim through the water, and it looks like Star Trek.
Yes, like the intro to Star Trek.
Yeah,
where she's like, "Are you in deep space?"
Yeah, and now, granted, this does involve, he takes you out to this place. The way that this stuff gets stuck in the bay, the reason there's all this stuff there is it literally gets stuck. So this was like kind of a big circular bay with a small little inlet. And apparently it gets down like right at the inlet to only about 5 feet deep. And then it goes back down to like 10 or 12 feet.
Are they mangrove trees that grew in there?
Mangrove trees, yeah. And like, so one good hurricane comes through there and this place is gone forever. But we were there completely alone. I've never seen such darkness.
So travel hack, by the way, if you want to get the best Bio Bay experience, get the last boat out. Because people want to get the first boats out. And if you talk to the guy, if you talk to Ishmael, if you call me Ishmael,
we're gonna put his number up on the website actually, so you can give him a call.
We will. And you say, hey, what's a good time to go out? Is the bay good today? Because there are some days when the bay is better than others in terms of the bioluminescence and how well you can see it.
Yeah, he said ours was like a good 7-8 on the scale of 10.
Yeah, he said it was an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
What does a 10 out of 10 look like?
I can't imagine.
But if you waste your time and you go out there on a 1 out of 10, that you're just not getting the experience and you think it sucks. But it doesn't suck. It's absolutely incredible.
You will, if you have an issue, which I do a little bit, which I got over, but like jumping off of a boat in a completely dark night into 10 to 12 feet of completely black water where you cannot see the bottom and there's no one else around is actually... But I mean, you can't say no to this experience, though. I almost pussed out. I was sitting there. I was like, you know what? This actually sounds really scary. And then I was like, you know what? No. I'm not going to be the girl who sat in the boat.
No. Angela jumped in even, and she was freezing. That lady has like 0% body fat. She jumped into that water and got real cold real fast. I jumped in first. And then I was like swimming out there for a while looking around. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then Ishmael was all, you got to watch out for the manatees. Like, if you touch something, it's probably a manatee. Because it's definitely not the ground. I'm like, what?
No, and, like, I don't even have, it's not like I have a fear of manatees. But,
I do
like,
not.
In a black water, I don't know that I want something that big.
There were fish.
Right?
There were fish. And he's like, and sometimes a dolphin gets trapped in here. And I'm like, one of the horny, rapey ones? Because there's dolphins.
They can't, listen, they're aggressive sometimes.
Sometimes there are psycho dolphins, sir. Mm-hmm. What kind of dolphin gets trapped out here? Is this dolphin prison? Am I swimming in dolphin prison right now?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But it was incredible.
But then everyone else jumped in, and it became way less scary. And it was the most incredible natural experience I've ever had.
It was really, really, really cool. It's like when you would pull your arm up out of the water, it was just like stars were dripping off of you. It was
just sparkle stars. You look like a Twilight vampire.
Right. I have the skin of a killer, Bella.
That's what Kelly was saying. She's just like swimming around. And I'm like,
telling everyone I had the skin of a killer.
You're gonna kill that manatee that just touched me? Okay, so the ending on the high of the Bio Bay, I think, is a really good way to roll into. So ending on a high is a good way to just like dive down into that depth of the low.
Oh,
don't you think?
This was a real low.
All right, so we are recording this on January 30th.
See,
last night. January 29th.
A night that will live in infamy. Listen, honestly, I will remember that night for the rest of my life.
I will never forget it.
I will remember January 29th.
All right. So 29 days into this experience, when we were sitting out on our porch on a Saturday.
Yes.
Looking down at what the fuck was that? I still don't know.
I really don't know. So there are... On particular nights, I can't tell what causes this because it's not every night.
No.
It was a Saturday night, this particular night, but this doesn't happen every Saturday night.
No, because we stay at our house all the time.
Yeah.
We would have heard this.
No, so the first thing that happened, and I have no explanation for this whatsoever, is that we saw like a handful of white people. I can remember I can remember all the white people that we've seen here. I have seen 0 black people. I just haven't seen them. On this side of the island.
No, we saw 2 black people at Crash Boat Beach.
Oh, right. So there isn't a ton of diversity on this side of the island.
No.
So we were sitting on the porch, and all of a sudden, here comes just what in and of itself would have been an odd sight, which was like 30 people on horses just coming up over the hill.
Yep.
Here they come, just down the city street.
1:30 in the morning.
1:30 in the morning. And all of them were black, which I didn't see coming. And they were wearing like a really interesting combination of like kind of like a rodeo star kind of a thing, like a
with just a little bit of rockaware.
With just a little bit of rockaware in there. I just didn't, and I was like, first of all, where have you guys been? Because like I have not seen you.
No.
Like
no.
And what is this horse situation?
Because I'm pretty sure we were the only tourists in Aguada, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Tiny town of 42,000 people. I cannot emphasize the tininess of this town.
Right.
We were not locals. It was clear to everyone.
Right. And the thing is that this was not a large it was large, but it was not like a disorderly group. This was a very quiet group. This could have been happening most nights and we didn't know it.
Some of them were riding down the street faster than others.
Right, but it was mostly chill. And then more groups came through. That particular group was mostly black, but then there were more with like people who are more like
local looking.
And these were all men. Like, let's be clear on that.
Yes, all men.
Except there was one chick with one of the groups.
The Khaleesi of Aguada.
The Khaleesi of Aguada is what we called her. At this point, we're like scrunched down in our balcony, just like staring. Because we don't really know what we're watching. I had no reason to believe that there was anything nefarious going on. And yet there was something just about like the late night gathering nature of it that made me feel like, is this a gang thing?
It was like very quiet for a gang, though. It could have been a 4-H meeting.
Exactly. Maybe they meet, or maybe you just can't take your horse out during the day because there's cars everywhere.
But there are cars that definitely are drunk driving down that street.
I know. I don't think I would take my horse out. Got to be real. No, maybe if I had 30 of my closest friends, and we had on our flyest clothes, just so fly. I would take those out on my horse too.
My God, these horses were turted up for a night out.
They sure were. Some of these horses, you could tell. Real fancy horses.
But at that moment, Kelly and I were like, do you understand what's going on here?
Yeah, and I was like, I absolutely don't. And I know it all sounds funny and kind of kooky and fun to watch, but we really did realize that we were isolated and that we didn't even know the nature of what we were looking at. I think by the end of the night, it really did seem just like neighborhood groups that kind of just take their horses out. We're like, are they assembling here?
But again, at 1:30 in the morning is very, very out of a time to be doing such a
and we also, so here's the other thing we realized, is that we realized that not only did we not understand the culture, we had shown up at this place and we're kind of like, beach party, girl time, like we were just...
We're going to work. We stay in our place most of the time. We don't leave for days on end, but when we do, we walk to that beach.
Right. And I think, okay, so here's really what happens. That Kari and I looked at each other and realized, first of all, that we don't know what's going on. We don't understand this culture, and we hadn't even really bothered to try. We just kind of assumed it was more or less like the United States, and it was fine.
Right.
And it was fine. It actually was extremely safe there, which was just fucking lucky. Because once we started thinking about it, what we realized was all the ways that we fucked up.
And 29 days into it is not the best time to look at each other and say, hey, you think we're safe here?
Right.
Hey, is this okay?
Instance, here's the things we didn't consider.
Well, we should just go down the line because I actually have them listed out.
Oh, yeah, let's do this.
So number one, we went wrong in 9 different ways. Let's just talk about those ways. Number one, we didn't know that we had gone wrong at all until 29 days in. 29 days in, Kelly and I were like, oh, this weird, is this a horse gang
we're leaving here in 48 hours, and we just realized we have not thought through anything.
Right, are we safe here? I don't know. This all happened as a result of, we got decision fatigue, as we mentioned earlier. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of not getting decision fatigue when you are picking a place that you're going to stay for an extended period of time. It is worth taking a break, coming back to it with fresh eyes, really reevaluating what are the key KPIs.
Right.
Key performance indicators that you're looking at any given location. Does it match it? And
no, when you are really at a just sort of fuck it place, that is not the place to be coming from when making a major decision about where you're going to stay.
You know what? And so we're on number 2 right now, but I'm going to skip right down to number 8, which is Google Street View your apartment and where you'll be walking on the daily.
Yes. So here's the thing that I love about me and Kari is that we showed up here in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
And this place, it's not just like home.
No.
It is a small town in western Puerto Rico.
Which is not the same as the flyover state, Dorothy.
But Carrie and I just showed up there, and we're like, well, this is nice.
This is great.
This is fine. Listen, we talk about this deserted, beautiful beach that we would go to. The journey. And it was just a spiritual, emotional, physical trial every time because we literally had to walk down the side of this highway where we were not sure we were not going to get hit by a car.
Hey, Kelly, you know how we could have prevented that?
Google Street View.
Google Street View. Oh, is it just steps from the beach?
What do those steps look like? How many dead iguanas are on this?
You can be a high stepping over some dead iguanas and iguana.
Oh, and you know what? They look fresh for a lot longer than you'd think. They've got those tough hides. And you're like, is this iguana dead or is it playing the long game? I don't know.
I don't know.
I know I saw it yesterday, but...
Could be a purse or it could be coming to attack me. I have no idea. So Google Street View. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of not just Google Street Viewing outside of where you're going to be staying, but where's the grocery store? Do you plan on walking there? You better Google Street View that beforehand.
Yeah, does that look like a fun place to walk?
Hey, you want to walk there at night by yourself maybe?
But Carrie and I love us because we both are just like, well, this is fantastic and we are great. And we've made the most of this month. And it's been honestly the best month of my life. I've had so much fun.
I have too. I have no complaints except for like I just see all of these risk factors. And hindsight is always 20/20, right?
Right.
So in hindsight, I'm just like, well, we really should have thought about that a little bit more.
No, if we knew that the walk to the beach was going to be what it was and believe that we took that walk all the time.
We stayed taking that walk.
We love that walk. But if we had known originally, we wouldn't even have booked this place because it is treacherous. It is dangerous. It's a miracle that we have not died.
No, and some dude just pulled over his Jeep on the side of the road and expected us to get into it. And we're like, no, not today, sir. Thanks.
Right. Also, this beautiful deserted beach. There were a couple days when we went there and just some nice ladies who were sitting there watching the water as we got in, like literally like pulled us out of the water and we're like, you really shouldn't be in there today. Are you stupid? Because like that beach would get rough sometimes.
It would, but we didn't go that deep.
I don't know. I feel like they knew something we didn't.
Listen, calf deep is not that. You're looking at me like
maybe there's a tentacle monster that we don't know about.
Okay, You're right.
Those ladies seemed very concerned for our safety.
I don't want to get eaten by the chupacabra of the sea.
I don't either.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't either.
Not trying to go out that way. All right. So Google Street View. That takes care of 1, 2, and we'll call it 3. We just sort of showed up and treated it like a tourist destination. Can we please talk about that?
It's like this is a small town. It is insular. I don't think they get a ton of tourists through here. They certainly do not get the likes of us.
No. We never considered, this isn't even on my list. This is not even on my list, Kelly, but we never even considered when we went into this place what the hell we even looked like.
Right.
Are we in the witness protection program? Are we lesbians? I don't think we're sisters.
Right. I think like in the States, it's not unusual, or really just in a tourist town in general in the United States, I don't think it's unusual at all for women to vacation together. Here, I don't really think that women go to dinner together.
No, unless it's like a mother-daughter, like a multi-generational kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And so we look weird, just the two of us, kind of in general. And I don't think we thought about what we looked like in this very conservative Catholic town.
And it is a very conservative, small Catholic town.
Do we look like loose women? Do we look like lesbians?
I saw no gay people there.
I saw none. I've seen none here.
And that's always, for me, an indicator of like, well, how cool are they here? Do you know what I mean? Like, if gay people can walk down the street holding hands without being harassed,
right? Then
I feel safer.
Okay.
I feel safer there in that place than when two gay people. So, like, when you see no gay people, but you know for sure that gay people must exist in this town
somewhere.
I am sure that there were gay people. We just never saw any of them.
Yeah.
And that begs the question of, do they not feel comfortable with just...
Well, and we didn't even think about the fact that, because I never considered it, but women don't go out together there.
No.
So the two of us just going out all the time looked... Not that we were even going out. We haven't even drank that much while we were here, but it's just, it never...
Going out to lunch, going out to dinner. When we went out anywhere, we were always together.
Right. So there was that. we did not think about how isolated we were going to be in our Airbnb. So our place, there's one other apartment here above the convenience store, but that one is not, I mean, I don't think they get a ton of people through here, to be honest with you. That one has been occupied like what, maybe 5 days that we've been here?
Let's be generous, give them 10.
Yeah, like I haven't heard a
third of the time
action over there. And then the rest of it around us is businesses. So at night it gets very quiet. There may be some people living in that like storefront where they allegedly rent tables
and chairs.
Mesas y sillas. Next door. And I think they might sort of also live in that van a little.
Okay. All right. Listen, the question is, who's going to hear us scream at night if somebody comes to get us?
Maybe the people in the van.
If they exist. We are not sure that they live there.
Not sure.
Who do we run to for help?
Right.
Hey, Kelly, if you're choking, I can't Heimlich. I am CPR trained, right? But like, that's been a long time since I've taken that. I am out of practice. I don't want to be in practice. That's why I'm not a doctor. But where do I take you? Who do I go for help? Like, is it 911 out there?
Right.
Out here? Is it 911 out here? That's a good question. Like, whose door do I go and knock on? Not for a cup of sugar, but because, like, hey, help me, there's an emergency.
Yeah, and if we did get broken into at the middle of the night, would anybody even hear that?
No, I don't think so.
So that was a consideration.
There was also only one entry and exit of our place, unless you wanted to crack an ankle jumping from the balcony from story 2 to floor 1.
Yeah, no, that was a mess. We also, I think, gave out maybe too much information to people without really knowing who they were first. Like, we just rolled into town. We're like, well, hey there. Like, my name's Kelly. This is my friend Kari, and we're going to be here for 30 days.
Do you want to be our friends?
Yeah, we're from the United States. Oh, this is just such a pretty little town here. Like, oh, God. We're going to be buying up all your sparkling water and all your coconut water, too.
We really bought them out of coconut water.
We really
did. Not a joke.
We were like grinkas. Sorry.
And they keep calling us gringas, and they're looking at us like they don't mean it in a nice way.
I don't feel like they mean that in a nice way.
You're just taking it on like gringas.
I like it.
Gringas on parade. Drinking up your coconut water, getting your sparkling water. Agua con gas.
See.
Por favor. But we would tell these people at the convenience store, because the one guy was trying to teach me Spanish, and he didn't speak very good English, and so there's a language barrier there, and we're like, well, I'm here for a month. Let's talk this out. And so he knew, but then really everyone at this convenience store knew how long we were going to be there. They knew when we were on our periods even.
Right. That was a lot of info for them.
Just by buying habits.
Right.
And so you think about that, and you're like, I could have been smarter about that
one.
Well,
also, if anyone was going to have access to the key to our apartment, it would have been those people.
Probably. Yeah, because we lived right above
their
their workplace.
So let's just give you a lot of information.
Yeah.
The other thing that we didn't think about, and this is going to be interesting to see how this is going forward, is we just didn't really think about how a month is a lot different than a week or 2 weeks. We've never stayed anywhere this long. We were in a place that was really visible. And then we were there long enough that, like, people really could have figured out our habits, listen, it has not been scary here.
No, not at all.
I do not think the takeaway is not that Aguada is a scary place. I think this is a really, really nice community. I am not sure that they're here for our gringa shit, but they were, like, for the most part, very polite to us.
No, they were for the most part
and really
very
friendly.
Nice.
And, like,
right. Yeah. And this is our own fault. Because this is not a tourist town. We just posted up above the only convenience store in town. And by the way, we were there for a month. And I cannot say, I just really cannot underscore enough the difference between traveling somewhere for, a week, 10 days, hell, even 2 weeks at a time, versus staying there for an entire month. Because when you stay there for a month, it's a completely different experience. Like, we wanted to stay for a month because traveling to different places is A, exhausting, B, time consuming, C, financially just, it costs a lot of money. The more you bounce around places, the more money you have to spend. But also we really wanted to embed ourselves into the community.
So here was our main concern, is that we waited till day 29 to look at each other and even have the conversation, are we safe?
Right.
And I think that, a story that's actually become kind of important to me is that before we left on this trip, I went to this wine tasting with my friends. And we were calling an Uber XL because there were 4 of us and we did not, listen, we're grown-ass adults. I can spring for the extra $10 so we don't have to sit in each other's laps.
Right.
So we got the Uber XL. This Uber shows up and it is just the most broke down Windstar I have ever seen in my life. Like just duct tape and like prayers holding this thing together. Yeah. So we went ahead and opened the door of this Windstar, even though all of us were just like, ugh. And sure enough, in the back seat, this lady has 3 children in car seats, just right across the back. And still, all 4 of us got in there with 3 cramming into the bench in the back, and then I got into the front.
Wait, so there's a whole extra row of seats in the back of this van. They're all occupied by 3 in a row car seats with children sitting in them?
Just sitting in them. And who would do this? First of all, listen, my friends at least aren't fucking animals. Like, we had been getting our drink on, but we see there's kids in the back, and we took that conversation onto Facebook. So we're on Facebook. We're just all silently sitting in this car, Facebooking each other like, oh, my God.
On your cell phones.
Yeah. As she proceeds to hurtle down the highway. As I'm looking up from Facebook, the whole entire front window is spider-webbed to the point that I feel like if we hit a pothole, it's coming in. And I look over to the dashboard, and every single light is on. And so
like check engine light?
Yeah, just all of them. It's like Christmas over there. And so we're all talking about this. Is every single light on the dashboard? Like, we're on Facebook just tapping away. She had to know we were talking about her because all 4 of us were just like, and anyways, long story short, it's like a 25-minute ride in this car back to Jess's house, got there, got out of the car, said goodnight, and then all of us looked at each other and were like, that was really fucked up and dangerous and not okay and a million things. And why did we, and then the thing that fucked me and Jess up later was like, why did we do that? Like, why did we get in this car and say at any point we could have been like, first of all, this is not what we ordered.
Right.
Jess is a lawyer. She said, this is not what we contracted for.
Contract or not, well, you could have asked the driver to drop me off here. This is fine. This is not what I want. You could have not gotten in. Once you got in and you saw that the lights are on the dashboard and the ceiling's caving in, all of these things, you could have tapped out at any point.
At any time. And we didn't out of just politeness. But, right. Like, I don't need to be polite to somebody who brings me something I didn't fucking ask for.
No, when it comes to personal safety, there's no such thing as polite. And in fact, when I talked to Angela Keaton about this, she was like, I used to have this thing where I would ignore my gut feeling because I would see these things and I would say to myself, well, this really doesn't seem rational. Like, where's the evidence? Like, you're feeling sketched out, but like, should you actually feel sketched out? And the answer to that is, if you're feeling sketched out, there's probably a reason why you should feel sketched out and you should get the fuck out.
Right.
And she's learned that over the years, but learning how to trust your gut and learning how to prioritize your own safety over being polite is something that we're going to have to get comfortable with, which as, gringas as we are, that's not how we were raised. Like, women just want to be kind of accommodating and it's a problem in business too.
It is. And so on top of, I think, just like the female thing, I think you and I, part of the reason that this works so well, I think that's what really mind fucked us, is that part of the reason that this works so well is because you and I just show up to this situation and we are going to make the best of it.
Right.
We are going to have fun. We are going to accomplish our goals. And neither one of us is somebody who shows up to a shitty situation and decides to make it shittier.
Right.
And so I think that we both really, the reason this month has gone so well in terms of our accomplishing our goals, we both really shown up for each other. There's not been a lot of negativity. It's all just like, yes, queen, you go. And like, there's so much support and positivity there. But I think neither one of us wanted to make it a negative situation even long enough to ask, like, is this safe? Are we okay? Is this sketchy? And So I think we've really resolved that when we're feeling those things, we need to. I think Angela's so right about that.
I think so too.
Oh, and we're going to be posting an interview with her soon.
Yes.
Angela's fantastic. You'll love her.
Angela Keaton of antiwar.com.
Yes.
It's a good interview, I think.
It's so good. And there's more of that kind of stuff. So I guess that's like where we are, is we're getting ready to go to Medellin. The internet says Medellin sometimes.
Medalla?
I don't
Am
know.
I getting
Medalla.
close?
Are we going to beers? So we're going to Colombia next.
Right. Yes. Step this up a notch.
So we're just going to take all this newfound wokeness to just the land of cocaine and see how we do.
It's a good thing that we don't do cocaine, because I could
helpful.
imagine that. Or maybe it's a shame that we don't do cocaine.
I mean, when in Rome, maybe we should.
I think that.
I think I'm going to pass on that.
I'm going to pass on that too.
I think we need to pass on the.
You know what? I'm going to take a hard no on the cocaine in Colombia. I actually would like to take that hard no on cocaine in Colombia a step further and say I actively do not want to get involved in any kind of cartel shit. Can we just pinky swear on that?
I think we should just agree that no cartel shit.
Sounds good.
Just a hard no on that. I don't think it's a good look for us. I don't know that we can hang.
Listen, we have learned some things from this leg of workationing. We have completely changed up our Airbnb style. We are staying in a high-rise building.
Yeah, it's
with a doorman.
Yes.
There's a chef on call.
Yeah, a maid
on call.
Gym.
Yes.
Rooftop pool.
That's right. Rooftop pool. The 3 syllables you want to hear when you're going anywhere, and it might be hot outside.
Yeah, we're very, very excited. So hopefully this next time around, this time we do at least have security. That's exciting. It looks like a building that probably has some cameras.
Listen, somebody's going to hear me scream pretty short at night.
They're going to hear it.
Yeah. I think we're going to live through this next leg. I mean, listen, we've got 48 hours before we have to leave here soon?
Yeah. I
Less
need to
than?
pack, do some laundry.
All right. But we made it out of this leg just fine. So
we did. This has been a really amazing month, and I've been really, really grateful to have you on this trip with me.
I have been so grateful. This has been the best month of my life, honestly.
Me
and
too.
when I look back and I think about how stressed we were and just the panic attacks I would have on the regular about coming out here, and it's just like I come out here and I get to take the deepest breath of just the freshest air of a new chapter of life. And that sounds very cheesy, but I mean it very wholeheartedly.
Totally.
And that I just cannot describe how transformative the last month has been for me. And I am just looking forward to the personal and professional growth that I'm certain to experience as we continue along this journey. And we made a lot of mistakes, safety mistakes.
Yeah.
On this leg of workationing. And I think that we have addressed a lot of those.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to find new and exciting ways to fuck up along the way.
Oh, I have so much confidence in us.
Sure.
I really do. However, what's so cool to me is that when we started this, we both sort of said, if we just do a month in Puerto Rico, that's totally cool.
It is.
Because that would have been the longest work. Well, you'd done longer in Europe, but the longest in one spot.
I have never stayed in one place longer than a month and not actually lived there.
Right. And we came into this saying, let's just see how it goes. If we do a month, we do a month. It's a fantastic adventure, and we'll probably do it again sometime, but we can always go home.
Right.
But, I'm not ready to stop. I'm ready to keep going.
No, we asked ourselves. We asked each other. We were like, are you ready to tap out? Do you want to keep going? Because no hard feelings if it's a tap out situation.
We've built so many exit doors into this because,
I think it's really important.
It is, and also, your friendship honestly means so fucking much to me, and I would never want any of this to, if any of this was coming in between it, it would be a no.
No, I don't think that's what we need to be worried about.
I feel like we
have other things to worry about for sure, Z.
Right. Right. But sister, I think we're ready to keep on this journey.
So to Medellin.
We'll get back to you next week and let you know
how to pronounce this.
How to pronounce
it. We're going to what is it? The cartel.
It's the home of Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
What could happen there?
See what Pablo's up to.
What's up, Pablo?
Is he still alive? I don't think
I
he
don't know.
is.
I think we need to watch Narcos. Ooh, we should watch Narcos while we're in Colombia.
That sounds just like an exquisite disaster.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's just ruin our mental states. And okay, let's do it.
I'm into it.
Let's learn about some history.
All
we
right.
should probably look up the Wikipedia page before we go.
Maybe.
I've heard that the digital nomad community is just popping off in Medellin.
Yeah, so hopefully we're going to make some road friends.
Because we didn't have, that's another mistake that we made actually out here.
Yeah.
We picked a place that had no digital nomad community. And if you just wanted we also didn't pick a place where we could have just blended in. We're not going to blend in around here, I don't think. So there's no digital nomad community. We are not blending in. We're basically gringos on workation, which is fun.
Yeah.
But, maybe we can
We're ready for some friends.
tie some other stuff in too. So we've got some meetups that we're going to go to
Yeah.
in Medellin.
Yeah, there's one on Friday. So
All
we'll
right.
be there and we're going to go check it out.
All right.
All right, girl. Well, this month has been fucking magical. I love you.
If you listening, those of you out there listening are considering coming out on workation for an extended period of time, tasting the digital nomad life, I recommend that you try it for a month.
Yeah.
A month anywhere. Just pick a month and write it out for the entire month.
A month is long enough for shit to go wrong.
And you should really consider, maybe you break that month up into 2 different locations, but maybe hang out in one place for a while, really feel what it's like, and see if you might want to tap out, because I think some people might want to.
I think they might.
You and I are not.
No, I'm just getting started, baby.
No, me too. I'm so excited about it. I'm just like, I have a new zest for life.
I do too.
And I'm very pumped about it, but I can see how a lot of other people, this would not be their bag.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 days in, I could see it. If I were a different person, this wouldn't work.
For real.
So try it before you buy it.
Yep.
We'll talk to you from Medellin.
Sure.
Is it like Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Medellin.
We'll call it
You say it like angry? Medellin.
Medellin. We will we'll catch you guys in Colombia.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay. Bye. This has been another episode of the Workationing Podcast. If you like what you heard here, make sure to like, rate, subscribe, and leave us a review on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, or wherever else on the internet you're hearing this.
You can also go to workationing.com. That's workationing.com.